Hey there everybody, it's Mark Crilley. I'm back with another how to draw video. Today we're going to be doing a video on how to draw facial hair. People have been requesting this for years, and I have to admit when I first saw the request I was like, really? Facial hair? Alright. But the more I think about it, it is kind of useful. If you have a character that has a few days growth or has a beard or a mustache or something, you could certainly make use of a video like this. So what I've done is I've taken a face from a previous video that I did. Some of you may recognize this. It's the how to draw a face in profile video. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in if you want to follow that to get the step-by-step that'll bring you to this point. But really today we're not going to be learning how to draw the face. We're just going to be focusing on drawing the razor stubble on his jaw and along the neck here. So let's go ahead and kick it into time-lapse to take this a little further along, get some of the more final line work done with my trusty black Prismacolor, and then we'll come back and hopefully all in real time do the facial hair. Alright, so we've got everything in place now. It's time to start adding this razor stubble. This is going to go well beyond 5 o'clock shadow. But I'm going to start way over here by the chin, and I think the main thing about this lesson is to focus on these little lines that will follow along the surface of the face. In fact, you know, even now I'm thinking it's better to actually zoom in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Hang on, I'm going to refocus. Okay, so we're in a little closer now, and hopefully you can see the details of what I'm doing. I'm using just a series of quite short lines. And one thing that I've noticed, and I looked at sort of photo references in my preparations for this, that as you get closer to the edge, the hairs are kind of doubling up. You know, you're sort of seeing one hair on top of another, so you're going to get a little bit of a darker area toward the edge. Now, these lines are kind of following, as you would expect, along the chin, but what happens as you begin to come back here is it begins to follow a slightly different path, pointing down towards the, you know, and I think different people have different beards, basically, different grains, I guess you would say, as the hair comes in. It'll come in different ways, but at least at the photo that I was looking at, it begins to point diagonally down towards this lower edge of the jaw. So you just keep going along with that. You know, I'm using hopefully fairly similar lines of similar lengths. And one thing also that some people will get quite a bit of growth down here. You see like the jazz musicians who will sort of shave everything away except for this one little thing. Yeah, man, dig it. I got my little jazz here underneath my lower lip. So that's something you might want to, if you want to go for this kind of highly realistic version, you want to make sure you don't forget that in there. One thing that can be a challenge as you come along here is getting these lines to sort of lightly link up with the mustache lines. Some people, they don't actually join. Those two areas of the face, the facial hair will not actually join. But anyway, as you come across here, this is going to, again, start changing direction to follow along the upper lip. And as we had seen down here, the lines get a little sort of thicker and darker as one hair is seen almost on top of another in profile, like this. Now, I just want to say that some people will be saying this, like, this was not what I wanted. I wanted a video on, like, a full beard, man. What's going on here, Crilley? And, you know, I will definitely be doing more videos. I'm going to sort of turn this into a series, but I thought it sort of made sense to start with just the razor stubble and get a sense of how the hair comes in, and then we can move on to doing more like big handlebar mustaches. On my Facebook, you know, I asked people, so what kind of hair beards should I do? And there, yeah, you had the full gamut. People wanted... They wanted to see it all, man, like ZZ Top. Give me a big, long, honking beard. So we'll sort of work our way towards that. But you can see as I said, it starts to point down in this direction. You're really kind of just sticking with that for a lot of this as it comes along. I mean, that basic direction. And again, different people will have the hair coming in further and further up the cheek. I know when I shave, not that anyone cares about the way I shave, I have to remember, don't forget to shave up here, man, because it does sort of, on my face anyway, come in pretty high up the face. Anyway, as we come up here to the sideburn area, it's going to start to sort of darken in, come in a little more thicker as it joins up with the actual hair. So that's a little tip for you. You may choose to get it gradually going darker and darker as it links up with, you know, the actual head of hair that this guy has. And here's where it gets a little tricky. When we come down to the edge of the jaw, we are going to have to darken it up quite a bit, I think. This, again, based on photo reference. The hairs are, I think, maybe just sort of lining up a little more on top of each other. And so make sure you get this nice and dark in here. And then what can happen down here can become a little confusing, and not to bring it back to the way I shave. I mean, honestly, who cares about the way I shave? But I do find that the hairs down here along the neck can really go in a variety of directions. And anyone watching this video, any man out here watching this video who shaves, can maybe attest to this, that you have to shave in a variety of directions down here because the hair is kind of coming in a lot of directions. So over here you can see the lines kind of curving horizontally across the neck. But as they come down here, I'm going to have them sort of fan out and begin to grow in a different direction, a little more vertical. And, you know, this may be more involved even than what anybody wanted. They were like, you know, I just wanted a sort of manga, you know, anime-style beard, cartoony-looking beard. And I will, again, probably in a future video, do something a little more along those lines where we're not drawing every single line, you know. But again, I thought, you know, to sort of start with a reality check, let's see what it really looks like as someone's beard begins to come in, and then for a future video, we can get a little more cartoony, show some of the more wild varieties of beards, because you do see, for some of these fantasy characters, you'll see some truly strange, outlandish beards. But this whole area down here, you might as well go in there and darken it up. I mean, it sort of becomes a combination of hair and just shadow at this point, I think. But one thing that in the photo that I saw, the hair does indeed stop growing after a certain point as it comes down the neck. Not true of some people, some very hairy individuals. The hair of the face, you know, the jaw will come all the way down the neck, all the way down to the hair of the chest. And when we were kids, we used to laugh about, you know, the guy who has to shave with a t-shirt on so he knows where to stop shaving. In any case, I hope that this gave you a basic sense of how to go in with drawing a beard. I'm going to switch to my trusty black Prismacolor, do some of this in time-lapse as I do final line work here. Let me pull back, though, because I think you probably missed some of the lower parts of the neck here. So we'll refocus, and then I'll do the final lines. Alright, well, there's my video on how to draw facial hair. I hope it was useful for you. Go ahead, leave some comments if you want to see a different style next time, like a full beard or whatever it is you'd like to see. I'm kind of curious to hear what people will think of this guy's look, because I can imagine, you know, like half the people will be like, yeah, he's a rugged, manly man. You know, then the other half of the people will be, he looks like a bum! Will you please stop playing video games? Get up off the couch! Go in there and shave and go out and get a job! For crying out loud. When I shift into that voice, it means I'm losing my mind, and it's probably time to end the video. I want to thank everyone who has supported me by getting my graphic novel series, Brody's Ghost. We got Minky Falls, and my instructional How to Draw a Manga book, Mastering Manga. I really do greatly appreciate your support. Those of you who go out of your way to purchase those books, you really do have my gratitude. But it's time for me to lay down the pencil. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll be back with another one real soon.